Hello, everybody. The next time someone calls you insufferable, say thank you. Do you realize what a compliment that is? You, they're calling you invincible in the line of suffrage, right? They're telling you, dude, there is no match for the amount of suffering I get from you. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you that you are the champion of their suffering. And that, do you understand how much power and respect they're giving you when they do that? Not only are they bowing down to you, you guys can hear me, right? Not only are they bowing down to you and your expertise, right? As a sufferist, right? A suffinator, but your powers as a suffering force are so great that all of their own suffering, all of their own skills, right, at creating suffering, they feel are lacking in comparison. Did you ever know you were my suffrage, right? It's a true sign of deep respect. And this whole scapegoat thing that we got going on up in this hizzy is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. And I am suffering from it too. I had to check myself this morning. I still am trying to check myself. I am still struggling with having to check myself over things. And the most politest, squeakiest, least offensive way that I can say this is in an open letter to Christians. Dear Christians, Jews did not cut your junk off. Right? That was your parents. They did that. A long time ago, when you guys were wandering around going, "Oh, we're too Christian to lend or borrow money. It is the devil's work. Therefore, we will borrow money from the Jews because they are clearly dirty." That was you. You did that. Look at me. Hey, Christians, look at me. You did that. You did that. But the system made me. I know. But here's the stickler, okay? Do you know Jesus? Of course I know Jesus. Jesus is in my heart. He died to save my sins. He's my savior. Yes, exactly. And you remember that every Passover before Jesus, right, we were picking a sacred Bambi. We were picking a ginger goat that we thought just looked a little weird. And we were saying, it's the goat. The goat is the problem for all the things that have ever happened to me. It's the goat. And the goat would walk around and all of you would rub your... Look at me. Just stop. This is not about you having a flaw. This is about you being a real person, okay? And that's what we're here. We are in the flesh. Iesus, right? The I and the U, the ES in between, the Iesus of Jesus, that means in flesh, okay? And I know how we like to say, oh, the flesh is evil. Oh my God, it's so evil. Oh, it's so evil. We must burn the goat. We have to kill the goat. Jesus came and said, can you guys stop being so fucking sociopathic? What did the animal do to you exactly? I know that wasn't actually written in your Bible because you won't go to the Apocrypha. I get it. The word Apocrypha, it sounds spooky and you're like, oh, Apocrypha, we're never going to go there. But when you read there, you really start to realize this was a deep animal rights movement. This was a deep, there is consciousness in everything. So saith Jesus. Yeah. Wilbur, verse 3, chapter 4. Right? And We chose a human scapegoat to trump all animal scapegoats that have ever been here before. That's really exactly what Jesus said. He even told you that. He told you that. So don't look at me like I'm blaspheming. I'm just telling you what he said. He said, how about you stop the whole scapegoat shit? And you agreed. You're like, okay, yeah, well, we're going to fucking kill you, but so we get to do that. It's pretty awesome. Gotta admit, Jesus, you bring a strong offer to the table. Now, this pushback, you're coming back where we don't get to blame anyone for our problems ever again. There's some of us that have some questions about that contract, right? You can't have that conversation now. You can't do it. You can't do it. That time is gone. And when I'm watching what's happening with Kanye, that's what I feel the most. That's what I feel the most. And I'm not even done yet. Because not only did the Christians say, I want you to take the end of my penis, I also really want to pay taxes so fucking bad. Romans 13:1. Oh, please let me pay taxes, because the Lord bequeathed that which is government is therefore the hand of God. That was you. You. That wasn't even in the Old Testament, which we all know who wrote the Old Testament. We all know. We all know who wrote that. And we carry that book around. We're like, oh, we got to be Zionists now. And I'm not even done yet. Because in addition to the circumcision, in addition to this back-ass scapegoat thing that we're trying to pull here now, where it's like, whoa. It worked really well when we blamed a person last time. Why don't we go back to doing that again? That's not going to cut it. You are shitting on what Jesus did. Stop telling me how sanctified this is. It's not. It's not. It's not. And I'm glad that Hollywood's coming out. I'm certainly glad that things are being exposed. That's good. This is where I have to check myself. It's great. I'm glad that people see things. But we're the ones that are constantly talking about Hollywood all the time. We're the ones that are putting the flames on that fire. We're building that wicker man. We're building that every time. And when you watch someone like Kanye, who literally from day one, Kanye, I want to be famous. Industry, right? If you want to be famous, we want to be rich. You could be famous and we could be rich together. However, it's going to require a commitment from both of us. Kanye, yes, I will do that. Are you sure? Yes, I want to do that. Kiss this starfish. Okay, I will kiss this starfish. Stop saying that didn't happen. Stop. You've got this magic thing where anyone who went into Hollywood and then suddenly doesn't like it anymore was a victim the whole time. And you're pulling the same scapegoat shit that's never going to work. If you're on a sitcom, if you're on anything like that, if you've done anything in that kind of light, you do understand what the couch is, right? You do understand that the casting couch is not a colloquialism, right? That's not a euphemism for something else. It's literally, here's the couch, okay? And I know that we get to call these people victims, but they're not. They profited from the pedestal of being on the wicker, and now they don't want to be there. And I don't want them to be there. I don't. But this idea that we are going to treat them as a martyr for going there, decision after decision after decision. Do you understand where you have to be as a volunteer to marry a Kardashian? Do you understand that? Maybe you don't. Maybe you think, well, what? I'm sure she's a fine, upstanding citizen. And maybe she is. I'm not even here trying to say the system's wrong. I'm here trying to say that the very same people that are saying it's their fault are the very same people that have been fluffing those people that were saying it's their fault this whole fucking time. And I think that by treating Kanye as a victim, we are fluffing this entire system. That the sovereign Prometheus would look and say, dude, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I asked Amazing Polly, hey, Amazing Polly, why are you telling people that Epstein Island was burned down in a giant arson fire? Why are you doing that, Polly? And the answer is because she's a victim? Is the answer because she is a victim? Or is the answer because the system is saying, the system is answering her call to say, I want to be famous. And the system says, well, if you want to be famous, stop fucking saying truth. Start saying what people want to hear. Say that. And that's not a decision that happens once. It's not like Kanye was walking next to a cliff and some guy like sidelined him and pushed him off and he fell into this bottomless pit, right? Where it's like orgies and money and all this stuff. And he's like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And at any point in time, he could leave. He hasn't even left now. This is not Kanye leaving. Kanye is not being punished. Stop saying he's losing millions. You can't lose fucking millions when you have millions. You can't. You have to purposely choose to try and get more and then go, oh, the more that I want is being taken away. I'm a victim. This is the scapegoat that makes the machine work. And it's such a complex concept. And I hate how complex it is because I know most of us won't hear it. Because meanwhile, Amazing Polly's over here saying, Epstein Island's on fire, y'all. I think they found the secret underground face removal lab where they remove the faces off the skulls before they pile drive them. We've got to save everyone. And I'm telling you, if you want to make this shit expensive, stop rewarding people on the upside. Stop. When you look at Kanye, don't look at him like a victim. Look at him like, so you tasted the starfish, now you got shit on your tongue, and now you're wandering around telling me how bad it tastes. Where's the news here? What exactly is the thing? Should we ignore it? No. You guys love Kanye, follow him, go ahead. Icons are important. Yes, I'm a little butthurt by it because I don't have enough electrons to be fully compassionate about it. I don't. Because I think Christians need this letter. I think we need to hear this letter that I'm talking about here. Guys, Jews didn't cut your junk. You did. Jews didn't make you watch Hollywood. You did. The whole time while independent creators are out there saying, hey guys, there wasn't a fire on Epstein Island, there's your opportunity to say fuck Hollywood. There's your opportunity to say fuck all this noise. Who's saying what actually happened? Or who's holding who properly accountable? And I get it. That's not the flavor. That's not how it works. I've known this since Blueprints of Mind Control. I've known this since that book. I've known it since that book. When I started to realize that QAnon was just a marketing ploy by Steve Bannon, and we started to track the footprints, it's like 10 days. I mean, 7 weeks right after. See, first of all, Steve Bannon is fired exactly a year, exactly after he qualifies for full-time benefits from the White House. Steve Bannon is fired because of how sloppy and horrible he is, even though he was the CEO of Trump's campaign. And that the minute he gets fired, what happens 7 weeks later? Hillary Clinton will be arrested at 10:38 a.m. tomorrow. And the whole time, the Christians, I'm going to call them the Christians here. I am. And you've heard me tell you I'm a Christian. You've heard me in the face of everyone else say, well, James, you're this or you're that. It's like, no, actually, I'm going to hold on to this Christianity thing because I already set up my bunk over here. I already set up my kitchen. And yeah, I get a lot of shit from people around here. You know, they're like, James, so why are you using those adjectives, James? I don't fucking care. This is my house too, right? This is how we're supposed to own shit like this. And I think we have such an opportunity to really look at ourselves here and go, why on earth in Rome were we embracing the idea of not only do I want to cut off the end of my kid's junk, but I also want to pay taxes? Doesn't that tell you something about you, Christians? Doesn't it tell you something about you and where your appetite's at? And then after that, you're like, well, I don't want to borrow money. I mean, I don't want to lend money. That would be dirty. So I want to give all my money to these guys over here. What? Because they're dirty. Well, why are you giving them money? Because it's the godly thing to do. It's like, how fucking stupid can you be? Oh, I know how stupid you could be. You just cut your kid's junk off. And now you feel holy. Now you feel better. You actually feel better. And the whole time before you cut it off, you're like, Lilith's coming, honey. The spirit of Lilith's coming. We got to smear goat blood over our door, quick. We will never, ever get out of this if we don't start kind of owning this stuff. Anyway, you guys even still listening? You guys even agree? Because I'm not, I watched the Dave Chappelle stuff, like what he went through. But guys, I'm not saying that, I mean, we've known about this a long fucking time. Do you understand that the reason why Michael Jackson has a split personality? Do you understand that that's just a process? That's just an industry standard process. And it's no different than teaching a ballerina to go on point. It's really not. You know, right now on TikTok, I'm amazed. I've been, I'm talking Instagram. I've been thrown off TikTok. But when you're scrolling through Instagram, you're sometimes you'll see someone do something amazing. And when you really start to look into this, you realize where our culture has gone, where like a ballerina will abuse the fuck out of her toes. Abuse the fuck out of her toes. Because she precisely wants what Kanye wants. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have abused my eyes writing books for the same thing. I have abused my creative endeavors here around my home studio to do the same thing. I freak out because I don't want people to look at my balding head because I do the same thing. Yes, I could cut it, but there's just so many calories in the day. That's all I'm saying. And that there's nothing wrong with witness. Witness is a beautiful thing. I would argue that witness is the most important resource that we have, more than anything else. I don't think that this world would be here without your witness because you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't be there. So I think it's natural for us to have the appetite for fame, because really the appetite for fame is really an appetite for witness. It's the appetite for being seen. And the reason why we have an appetite for being seen is because you and I are growing as seers, as people that see things. Your witness is weak. So is mine. We are budding witnesses. We are budding consciousness. And as you've been watching on the last several shows, this consciousness has to come out of the primordial ooze. Part of that coming out is literally pushing fucking goats off the cliff. It is. And those goats change to humans, and the humans don't go away. If you read my latest book, you would know that there's been at least 18 messiahs since Jesus. I'm sorry, but since before Jesus, like documented. Like dudes coming going, I would like to take on everyone's bad problems and would like to die on behalf of you. People are like, that is so, I am flattered. I am flattered by your gesture. Get the rope. I am flattered by your gesture here. This thing you've done is so nice. I can't believe this. I can't believe you're doing this for us. Thank you. Of course we will take you up on this. Of course we will. Now, get up this pyramid. Yeah, let's get up to the top of the pyramid here. Let's go up to the top and see what's there. Let's see what's happening, right? All right. Oh, somebody loves my hairline. Thank you. Should we get started on the show? Or should I just keep just going off here? I want you to talk about Kanye. I want you to explore and see things. I do. I don't even mind if you want to burn Hollywood. But guys, Hollywood has been burning for like 50 years. For like 50 years it's been burning. It's been a military arm of the complex for a long time now. And I'm just getting tired of these bonfires. It's the bonfire of the vanities, isn't it? Isn't it? And that all the voices that are coming in front of you to say, we need to burn down Hollywood. They're fucking killing us. Those are the same people that just want your attention. the ones that want to fix this are looking at you saying, well, why are you cutting your kid's junk? And I'm not saying it has to be that. Maybe I talk a little bit too much about circumcision. You know, I just wrote a book about being cleaved. So maybe there's a little evidence that James has a little bit too much concern about circumcision. Maybe so. Could be. Right? Could be. Isn't it weird that we're even arguing, hey, aren't you kind of making it a big deal that as soon as you're born, like the literal crown center where most of your sensors, your neurological endings are, is ceremonially chopped off by someone who's under the auspice of public safety, like like how do you exaggerate that? Can someone tell me how that's even exaggeratable? I know I go off a lot about this. I know. I think I'm just maybe one of the few people that's like, really, like when that happened, I was just like, what the fuck just happened? What is, I need that guy's name. Hey, get back here. Hey, I need your badge number. You and I got a score to settle once I learn how to settle scores. I can't even move my arms right now. But when I can, I'm fucking coming for you. Wouldn't that be, now there's a Hollywood movie, right? The Vengeaning, a serial killer who goes around and kills every doctor that performs a circumcision. Like he like stalks them. And instead of Dexter, he like lays them down in this like bouncy pit of foreskins, right? And he's chopped them in half, so they're two skins. They're not foreskins, they're two skins. Right? That's right. Okay. Good to see you guys. Believe it or not, cannibals were yuppies in Aztec culture. The up and coming culture. Oh, I'm sorry. We got we got some interesting business here. How come this isn't? There we go. Jamie Lively, you were just wonderful for sending this to me. This was a public act at the state of Tennessee of the 32nd General Assembly for the year 1857. This is exactly on point with what we're talking about. Leave it to Cleaver. That's funny, you. That is funny. Okay. Section 1. You know, I am really having trouble seeing this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. That's what she said. Oh, James, you're so funny. You just said that's what she said. No one's ever done that before. Let me see if I can make this bigger by rolling my mouse over it. Section 1. Be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee that it shall be lawful for any free person of color resident within the state of the age of 18 years to choose his or her master and convey him or herself into slavery upon the terms and conditions hereafter mentioned. Section 2. Be it enacted by the authority aforesaid that when any free person of color as aforesaid desires to go into slavery, such persons shall file a petition in the circuit of Chancery Court of the county in which such free person of color resides, setting forth his or her desire to choose an owner and go into slavery, and setting forth the name of such person as he or she shall desire to become his or her owner, which petition shall be signed by such free person of color or in the presence of at least 2 subscribing witnesses. Passed March 3rd, 1858. This is not an oddity. If you want to tell me that Tennessee's racist, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit, because they had more volunteers in the Civil War than any other war. It's actually a pretty split state. And that the reason why you would pass a law like this, thanks again, Jamie Lively, the reason why you would pass a law like this is precisely because the war itself was creating abandonment. And that, as I've told you before, there's no fucking way Caesar's going to walk 1 million slaves from Gaul back into the city of Rome unless those 1 million slaves were like, dude, I can like come live with you? It's like, yeah, you can live in my basement. Are you sure? Yeah, man, you can live in my basement. Well, what do I have to do? Look, just everything I say. Well, For like forever? No, man, no. If you do good, I will make you literally my legal child. Yep. I'll go from you being a slave to you will be under my patriarchy. What does that mean? It means you can go get your own house. No way. Yeah. You'll pay homage to me because I taught you everything you know, bitch. I raised you from a young lad in Gaul, right? You're running around with those berserker friends of yours, you know? You're like, oh, I'm a hyena. I'm a crazy wild hyena. I feel the wind in my teeth. Boom. And what happened? I slapped you upside the fucking head with my chariot, right? And so now you're coming home with me. And you're coming to the big city, and now you're going to experience life here for a while. And the reason why you're coming is not because you're forced. It's because your consciousness was just this big. And the amount of calories it took for you to survive in this world was this much. And so what did you do? You do what you did to survive. You entered into slavery. Do you realize that after the Civil War, most slaves in the South, look it up. This is actually really hard to look it up. Look up H.G. Egerton. He will tell you that most slaves in the South after the Civil War didn't leave. They didn't leave. Oh, James, it's because they were so oppressed. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. It's because they were oppressed. No. This is a symbiotic relationship. This is how we raise ourselves out of the gutter. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm trying to get my mouse to go over here. Where's my mouse? I think I have to click twice. There it is. All right, one more thing, then I swear we'll get talking. Donald Duck's dad. You have what looks like a place for everything. Your place looks efficient, fluid, and clean. That's hilarious. The colors match well, and it looks peaceful. I envy this. I am disorganized. My workstation, my laptop, my bed. I can't kind of focus on designing my room with pictures, posters, etc. I can't justify thinking of those things. But then I do see the benefit of it and wish I could. And I'm going to stop right now because he's already said everything. He's already said everything. And he actually has a lot more to say. But what is Donald Duck's dad doing? He's struggling with the energy of his own witness. I swear that's what he's doing. I swear. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not washed or vacuumed my car since my divorce. And I've had a lot of people in my car. But Sunday, some people are arriving, and the first thing I thought of is, oh shit, they're going to be in my car. I should probably clean that thing. And I'm doing what Donald Duck's dad is doing. I'm saying that my witness is not worthy of that kind of environment, but someone else's witness is. And I'm hijacking that person's witness. I am performing usury right now. I'm hijacking that person's witness to elevate myself. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's clever as fuck. It's clever. It's clever. It's as clever as entering into slavery. And it's as humane as the Senate of Tennessee having to pass a law making it okay to enter back into slavery. That's how okay it is. And if we didn't have such a tainted look at this, we could hold Kanye responsible for his own addictions. We could just say, yeah, dude, you said yes a lot. You went on tour a lot. You left your house a lot voluntarily. A lot. You could, at your first million, you could have said, fuck this place. Are you kidding me? I am fucking out of here. You could have done that. You could have. Yes, but James, he's weak. Okay, he's weak. So why are you worshiping him right now? I'm just why? Why? Because to me, the triumph would be ye explaining all the times that he himself got down on his knees and pressed his lips up against that starfish, the same starfish that Amazing Polly. It's the same thing. And we like to say Hollywood is this isolated place where only this happens, but this is in the truth movement right now. Right now, it's happening in the flat earth movement. It is. And it's not just about me. Yeah, I feel blackballed, but so the fuck what? This is how it works. This is post-COVID. It's a different kind of time frame right now. So you have the Mandala Effectians in a war, a faction war against the Flat Earthians, and the Tartarians are a third branch. And these three separate branches of truth movements are meeting on this open battlefield. And what are they competing for? They're competing for fucking witness. They're not competing for truth. It's witness. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because humans are beautiful and they have a resource that's precious. It's called witness. This is why we pay our celebrities the most. And I don't think we should stop. We are learning the value of witness the same frickin' way that the Aztecs, sorry to clear my voice in the microphone there, the same way that the Aztecs are learning the value of life. I'm going to get my mouse over here any minute now. Any minute. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Just get over there. Where are you? My mouse is gone now. Okay. There it is. Is that it? I know we went over this last time, but the two-party system is our excuse to sacrifice people, right? Kanye is part of that system. He is. But this is all a self-satisfying machine. Sorry, let me just move through this. We went over this yesterday. If you missed last week's episode, it was split into 2 episodes because of a little problem. But you're welcome to come back. And let me just get back here. Thanks, guys. We went over Zippy Tolte last time. Yeah. And you end up with, this is the new cross. This is the new cross, right? This is the chalk mole. This is the new cross. You get to get on this, and you get to be a victim the whole time. And you get to have an experience. And everyone around you is benefiting from that experience, right? Because you are liberating the village by putting your heart. Chakmol, you put your heart right there on his belly. You put it right there. Hey guys, why don't you put your little heart in my bowl down here, huh? Let me take all your problems away. I am here to give you relief. And I'm safe, I'm effective, and you just put your heart in here. So come on, put your heart in here. Just give me a little chakmo. Tell me all your problems. Tell me all the problems that are bothering you. Tell me all the things. Come on. Come on, who's next? Kanye. Kanye, come on over here, buddy. Who's next? Who's next, right? It's a process because it's profitable. It's profitable. And it works to have an economy like this. And as you're about to see, most of this Aztec stuff is still alive today. We have crockery. Holy shit. Right? I know I said this last time, but right? If your culture has a formal and a casual crockery for holding human hearts, you might be sacrificing things. And we have a formal crockery for foreskins. There is an official incinerator model designed specifically and rated for foreskins, right? And placenta. And that the Aztecs are learning how to wear more electricity. And they're doing that by putting themselves in the skin of someone else. Because they think that someone else has that more electricity. Donald Duck's dad is doing that with me right now. It's a very healthy thing that he's going through. But the first thing that Donald Duck's dad said in that comment that you saw, if you were paying attention, the reason why I had to stop in the first paragraph is because the very first thing he did was cut his own vein in front of me. And he did that by seeing James has all of this order, which is hilarious. If you could just see the other side. Oh, God, it's hilarious. But James has all of this order in his life, and I don't. That observation is actually the gutting of yourself. And it's okay. This is energy work. This is good energy work. You're trying to kill the old you by doing that. Kanye's trying to kill the old him, but he's literally coming out to the gold balcony and opening the doors to all his fans and saying, I no longer want fans. And they're like, yes. And he's like, yes, you're right. This is what it's like to no longer want fans. And they're like, yes, we no longer want fans. And he's like, yes, join me in me not wanting any more fans. We go through these exercises to have growth, but my witness is able to show him, Donald Duck's dad, his inadequacy of his own to create an environment around him the same way my guests that are coming Sunday are doing that to me with my car. It's the exact same concept. We hijack other people's witness. Christians hijack Jews by saying, can I borrow money from you? And they're like, oh, why do you not loan yourself money? It's like, because we think you're dirty. We think you're kind of like gross and dirty. And so we feel clean by doing business with you because it makes us feel clean. And the Jews are like, oh, so if I do things more dirty, you give me more money? And the Christians are like, yes, yes. Also, can you trim my child's junk? Can you just take your mouth and wrap it around his little junk there and just bite really hard? It's like, yeah, maybe I'll do this for you. You know, I will do this for you. But one day, at Kanye's wedding, I will ask you to watch as he marries Kardashian. And as he's wearing a reptilian suit, I want you to pretend that he's actually handcuffed inside. And that he has no choice over these things. He's a victim. I will ask this of you. I will loan you money, but you must do that in the future. And Christians are like, okay. Do I get a credit score? Oh, look, honey, I got a credit score. Oh, that's special. We got a credit score. I can't believe it. We got a credit score from the Jews, and also they're the source of all our problems. But I got a higher credit score now. I got it. See, it's... Guys, Christians, look at me. I love you. I love you for this. I do. And you seeing this folly, right? You seeing that is exactly what you're asking me to give you deep down. Don't go back to Polly, please. Please. Don't go back there. She's never going to get you out of this. You realize that there's a line for the cross now, right? You got Klaus Schwab, you got Bill Gates. You've got Fauci, you've got Biden, you've got Trump. Everybody but you. How productive is that? How productive is that? That's all I'm asking. That's all I want to know. That's all. Where's my mouse? God, I wish I could just get this mouse under control. I'd have a pretty smooth show going here if I could get my mouse going. Here's the mouse on this screen. If I move it over to this screen. There. And now I got to move it back over here to turn this back on. Okay, so, wait. Oh, James, get the mouse back over here. Damn it. Oh, I can't get it. It will work. There it is. Now it's over there. Remember Dick Nose? Poor guy. This is like a real person. And now he's got like this giant dick nose and he's in a museum. It's like, think about your ancestors. Like, whenever I see this, first time I thought it was funny. Then I realized this is a real person. And he's like, hey, Tommy, did you see your skull is, yes, I saw it, Reggie. I know. Yes, my skull is in a museum. Yes, it does look like a dick nose. Yes. Oh, you guys suck. You're so mean. I fucking hate you guys. Richard, the long nose. Where's my mouse? There we go. It was before money, hearts were the economy. And the reason why you would need that economy is because you would need to have a real currency. And I remind you, 1487, 5 years before 1492, 80,000 people were sacrificed in a mass festival. Literally, just one festival. 80,000 people. Ceremonial theater, right, at Templo Mayor. Dragged up to the top, you get to pick a party, blue or red. Blue or red. Whichever one you pick, you're sacrificed. Doesn't change anything. But people feel better. Why do people feel better? Guys, think about it. Why do people feel better? They feel better because human consciousness is trying to grow. That's really the whole point of this. Human consciousness is trying to grow. The Aztecs believed that the heart, the tona, was both the seat of the individual and a fragment of the sun's heat, istli. I think that really is it. Their consciousness had not yet fully coagulated separately from the sun itself. Think about it. The sun is source. Consciousness is source. You are istli, seeing your tona. Do you understand what that means? Let's say it again. The Aztec believed that the heart, the tona, was both the seat of the individual and a fragment of the sun's heat, the istli. If your consciousness was not strong enough, if you did not have enough of an ego to develop, right, you would associate with source. You would still be associating with source. Your soul comes from istli, but only becomes independent in the tona, in the heart. In the heart. The Aztecs are giving you a clue that the Jews are too ashamed to admit. When I say Jews, I mean like old Yahwistic knowledge where all of the different collapses are compressed into a single mythology. I'm talking about that. That the Aztecs didn't do that compression. And I think it's because their 52-year calendar. Did you hear that? Think about this, please. If you've purposely set up a calendar of consciousness that we only exist for 52 years, your desktop space, right, your 16-bit desktop space is showing you that this how much desktop you have for your consciousness. But more importantly, it's also giving you a lot of room to store other things like history. I know this sounds crazy, but what if changing the calendar, the Julian calendar, was a necessary upgrade on your spatial crystal ship architecture, your desktop inside your mind? Amun-Ra, anyone? Can you see what I mean by that? Because it would be contextually accurate if you watch how these systems have developed. And more importantly, it shows you that the people with the oldest calendars, had the biggest desktops. And I think the reason why they had the biggest desktops is because they had access to a time capsule. They had access to an arc of history. And that arc of history gave their desktop the ability to expand. And they're actually tapping into that external hard drive that is history itself. That by holding that mythology, they gain capacity simply by holding it. They don't even necessarily have to know what it is, really. Right? Istli, the sun's heat, is inside your chest, son. That's what a dad would tell his son. That you exist inside your chest here. Well, Dad, why can't I find my mouse? Because, son, the mouse is you. But why does it not move when I move it over to the screen? It just disappears. You know that the 80,000 people died were real because we have more than shoes. Just waiting for the laugh track. It's not going to play. But the fact that we don't have a bunch of Aztec sandals, that we have skulls, there's your proof, guys. There's your proof. Now, what you're looking at is actually a statue of skulls, but the actual skulls were really there. This is a model showing you how these were found in the pits. And that this was the real currency. And that the reason why human bodies were currency is because humanity was trying to find its value. So therefore, it said that the heart itself was the currency, that's how it breeds value. The same way you and I breed sovereignty through slavery, right? You're using the same medicine, but it seems like it's directly against you, but that's how the crutch works. That's how it works. And that we wanted the energy so much to value ourselves that we started eating each other. Sahagda, a scholar in 1951, mentions cannibalism in a summary account of the feast. After they had slain them and torn out their hearts, they took them away gently, rolling them down the steps. When they reached the bottom, they cut off their head and inserted a rod through them. Then they carried the bodies to the house, which they called kolpuli, where they divided them up in order to eat them. They ate them in a sort of stew with chilies and tomatoes. There was a special group of people, the Kwakwakutli. The Kwakwakutli would shave their heads and their bodies completely. And it was their job to grab these bodies and divide them up. It was a sacred duty. Actually, they weren't completely shaved, sorry. They had a very special, specific haircut. It was basically like a long ponytail, like an opposite of a monk, right? Like if you think of how the monk like shaves the bald spot in his head, which by the way, fuck dude, man, having that naturally and watching that, know that there are people out there that are like purposely doing that. I'm just like, fuck you, man. I mean, first of all, way to own it, I guess, but damn, I'm already impressed. We're getting way off topic here, but I want you to realize that this hair was actually a part of who they are. You're going to see that in a bit though. Before that, I need you to know that part of the ecological basis for this was there simply ran out of deer in Mexico as population increased while game supplies were decreasing. And you're finding reasons for this cannibalism to exist. I want you to understand that capturing another human being and bringing them back to the village was a sign of great respect. If a warrior captured a prisoner without help, probably the only appointment of limbs that had to occur was the setting aside of a thigh for Moctezuma. That you bring that prisoner home and you would still have to chop a thigh off and give it to the Kwikuklutling, or however I pronounce that. And it's processed for the village. And when I say processed, I mean it's actually spread around through the elite, through the yuppies, the cannibal yuppies. That you had to be a yuppie to eat meat in Aztec. One prisoner made you a man. If you captured one person, you could help others. That didn't have to be a soul capture. Right? So you and your friends could go, let's go get a man. We'll bring him back to the village and all of us will be men. And 4 guys will go out and do that and they will decide. And they're like, all right, let's do it. It's not nearly as honorable when you do it with 4 people, but still, you're going to get your man badge. That's what it is. It's a man badge. If you capture 2 captives or more, you get to wear sandals. You get to wear a feather cloak. If you capture 4 captives or more, you're considered a jaguar warrior. Jaguar Knight. You're awarded a jaguar skin. You're considered noble. You have nobility then. More than 4, you're Eagle Warrior. You're wearing the beaked helmet. So the entire economy was based on this idea, wasn't it? It wasn't just about ritual. You're seeing that this actually has a lot to do with just society itself, right? Hey, what you got for Chocmaw? Oh, look at you up and coming. Here, bring his heart up here. Yeah. Who do I put this down for? Reggie, congratulations. You're a man. Although this prisoner, guys, he's kind of short. Is this the best you could do? How many guys did it take you to bring this guy in? Anyway, are you sure he's not dead? You sure he didn't just die anyway? Anyway, let's get him up here. I don't mean to complain. Chocmaw's got to eat. He's got to have his food in here. These different, come on, mouse, where are you? Oh, it slows me down so much. Oh. This is really part of this sociopathic brain, the mammalian brain. I want you to think about that in Aztec culture, when Aztec boys attained adult age, the first thing they could do is cut their hair. If you and your friends go out and you drag a body back home, and quick side note, Chocmol is Mayan. I've been saying Aztec a lot. I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to say Chacmo's Aztec, but it's the exact same economy. Sorry, quick note. And I definitely prune my lips always, but here, I just prune my own lips for you, just so you know. But I want you to think about this same ritual that when we go into the military, remember how Amuraka, the soil, is speaking, right? Remember that? The same things exist. You become a man when you're given the privilege of shaving your head for the military. And that's exactly how it worked in Aztec times too, right? It's the exact same kind of system. So if you just keep pushing it to the right, it just won't go there. It's so weird why it's doing that. Oh, sorry, guys. Incidentally, when a commoner had single-handedly captured and accumulated a total of 3 war prisoners, he became a master of youth. He was eligible to dine in Montezuma's palace. Therefore, he was qualified to eat wild game in abundant quantities. So think about it. You're given food. You're rewarded with protein if you cannibalize someone, right? You're rewarded with protein as a result of that. These systems, I think it's wow. What did I just do? Let's see. These systems, James thinks short people are weak. I think you think that. I think that. I think maybe I'll make a joke. I'll try not to make that joke though. Isn't that funny? That anyway, we'll just go on. Sorry for offending you short people. It's weird. All the things that I said, and it's the short joke that gets called out. This wasn't a system of oppression. This was just math. You have a limited population. You have a limited budget. You have a limited source. And you have people that are expanding their mind, right? They need more brains, not less. Brains. What do you think that zombie's really asking for, right? He's asking for consciousness, isn't he? He's asking for consciousness. And if the zombie can eat brains, well, all the calories are in the brain. All the calories are burnt in the brain. The zombie really is asking for more calories. And what is an NPC, right? It's just the same kind of zombie. Do you understand? When we start to say your thigh is worth something, the meat in your thigh is worth something, you as the pre-slavery or entering into slavery sort of mode of consciousness, you see that as value and you go for it. You huddle inside that, and then you're rewarded with what? With fashion. With fashion. You have the ability to cut your own hair now. You have that privilege, right? It's a privilege. Human meat trophy allotment. The most valuable part of a human was the torso and the right leg. Those are kept together. The left leg was the second most valuable. The right upper arm, the left upper arm, the right forearm, the left forearm. So if 6 of you captured a prisoner, the person considered the primary gets number 1. And then number 2 goes to number 2. Number 3 goes to number 3. You could certainly see how many people would argue about this, right? It's like, Clint, you got hurt in the war. No, I got hurt in the fight after the war. I really thought that I deserved the left upper arm, but I got the right forearm instead, and I just couldn't take it, honey. I just had it. I had enough of them. It's okay, honey. We'll figure it out. Do you want some finger for dinner? Yeah, I'll have some fingers. I'll have some... I'll have some chicken fingers. Anyway, House of the Devil. When there was an unsettled dispute as to whom should be credited with making a capture, the prisoners were dedicated to Uzcacol, meaning if you were to fight too much, the meat would actually go to this other charity, the House of the Devil. So I just want you to see that this was meat. That this was an important part of their harvest, right? Like the Spaniard speaks of the use of wooden cages to hold war prisoners, gives some independent indication that large numbers of captives were involved, right? It was a mass capture, right? So, sometimes 400 at a time. It was a commodity. And you would be the richest city if you had more of the commodity, right? We have 400 hearts inside our storehouse, ready to be sacrificed and eaten at any time. Do you understand? That's what was really happening. Just as the Pharaoh will fill his, as Ben Carson would say, just as the Pharaoh would fill his pyramid with grain, so too will the Aztecs fill their cages with hearts. And they want those hearts alive, right? Do you understand that this really didn't have much to do with sacrifice? I hope you see that now. That really it's a commodity that's pretending to be a sacrifice. That's ultimately that's really what's happening. And I would say that that's what war is. We're pretending that this is about peace. When deep down, we let someone else cut our junk off and now we want to go kill someone else for it. Well, the Jews did that. No, they didn't. No, you have enough calories. If you have enough calories to go to fucking work and to fill out a TPS report, you have enough calories to figure out that you're responsible for your own shit. I'm sorry, but I'm not even sorry. This is how we get out of this. This is how we elevate. We claim the calories we have. We stop shedding them. We claim the ones we have. Because even the scapegoat calorie, that only lasts for 3 days. What do you think it actually feels like to take your favorite goat that you raised since it was a baby and to go ceremonially slaughter it to get high off the adrenaline of this spiritual event? And then you come home 4 days later. How do you fucking think you really feel? How? Okay, maybe 2 weeks later. Do you really feel better? Is that really what's happening? Or is this the exact same technology as biting your fucking nails? Or drinking too much? Or blaming another scapegoat for literally every single decision that you make yourself? Can you see how much that serves us? Christians, blaming Jews serves you. It serves you. It gives you a very comfortable seat inside this cage because you don't want to go out. You don't want to have to argue with the value of your own foreskin. Someone else is telling you their foreskin is valuable, not you. Same with your placenta, right? Women, you don't get out of this, do you? No. In fact, if you're a woman in the Middle East, you definitely don't get out of this. Why do you think the world is like half the side of the world's mutilating male genitals, the other half of the world's mutilating the other genitals, right? This is technology. It's technology that we tap into. Leftovers. In one instance, he throws light on the native rationale for eating the flesh of the captive after the sacrifice, that it was considered leftovers and was returned to the captor as a reward for having fed the deity. Well, hey man, look, we need the heart to fire the sun. Just because we're going to eat the body, that doesn't mean that, hey, come on. It's, you're leaving chips on the table, or nipples on the table, right? Chipples, nipple chips. In Aztec culture, they would take the nipples and they would deep fry them, and they were called chipples. Chipples and salsa. You've probably heard of this. Prune my lips. But yeah, chipples. Chipotle actually is fried nipples from Mexico. Oh, every part of the buffalo, right? The team of archaeologists working the plaza in Mexico City discovered various deposits, more than 100 skulls. The hair, brains, eyes, tongue, and other fleshy parts were probably removed from the craniums before they were perforated and placed on the compulsion pole, right? So it literally every single part, just like a kill. Just like you do with deer, right? You were treated like deer, right? The high and mighty. This is the high and mighty. The scapegoat technology. All over the world. The Aztec diet sucked. Rarely any meat such as game. Sometimes venison. Rarely. They tried to raise poultry as much as they could, but it only worked so much. They were hungry. They were hungry. They were tired of eating lizards. Look, they used to eat snakes, iguanas, lizards, and worms. That was what they used to eat. Oh, but James, eating bugs is so normal. Everyone's doing it all over the world. It's like, no, they aren't. No, they literally aren't. They aren't. Your body knows. Solving the hunger problem. Therefore, right, amino acids, it makes sense. It makes sense. This whole thing makes sense why this would happen. And it's psychological. It's just as much psychological. If Aztec cannibalism was a response to growing population pressure, one would expect it to increase in frequency through time. But that didn't happen. Right? Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. When if you turn on any kind of PBS or BBC documentary, it's going to say this is BBC. And it's going to tell you in the first 3 minutes, no one knows why the Aztec disappeared. Some speculate it was aliens that took them away. And the reason why it disappeared is because it was unsustainable. Why was it unsustainable? Because it was run on cannibalism. How do you sustain a cannibalism? Do you know? Think about it. Crops. Okay, think about crops. On a diet of corn, how long does it take to grow corn? I actually don't know. Does someone know that? How long does it take for normal corn to grow? Is it 1 year or is it a 2-year crop? I really don't know. Could be a 3-year crop. It's not a 50-year crop, is it? It's not a 40-year crop, is it? It's not a 20-year crop, right? Corn, a lot more, right? So you can plant corn and eat half of it. And as long as you eat half, the other half will keep growing, right? And if you keep doing that, then really you just plant more corn. You can't do that with humans. This is old growth meat, right? A human, an ouvrier. What's for dinner? Ouvrier. Oh, I love ouvrier with chipotle, nipple chips, right? The ouvrier takes 20 years to grow. So how do you sustain that? How do you sustain that, right? You don't. You don't. It ends up dying, but you don't want to admit that that's why. So you want to say that, well, it's an esoteric religious experience that was grounded deep in the culture. It's like, or it was cannibalism. It's not wrong. It's not. This is how this entire world works this way. I've literally watched owls cannibalize themselves. I've watched all kinds of animals do that. It's horrible. And not like watch, but like noticed, oh shit, they fucking cannibalized this guy. It's built in. It's part of the survival mechanism. It's actually like a stop measure, believe it or not. Like a stop measure, I'm telling you. All right. What's 5 to 10 hitchhikers per year? Right. What does that mean? Also provide evidence of population 100 persons eating 5 to 10 victims per year could receive a significant amount of meat. So I'm trying to say that even as a commodity, it still had some leverage to it. That if a village was to only kill 5 to 10 hitchhikers a year, they would survive. This is why you saw in last week's episode this jaguar serial killers wandering around. And do you know why they were leaving jaguar prints? Probably because they didn't want to feel guilty. I think if they entered into this different state, this jaguar state, the survival state, they could kill and not have the moral consequence of that. One of the things that happens when your consciousness rises is your morality does too, which ends up being a burden as we look around, which is why we use scapegoat technology to try and offload that. And so therefore all these rituals that you see as a result of that it's a really good point, Blue Kachina. You'd think that they'd get into canning. That's hilarious. Oh, they're canning. They're humans. Yeah. I got canned nipples. I got some. Are those deviled nipples? Yes, they are. Those are deviled nipples. My freaking favorite, right? Happy Halloween. Human flesh was a privilege, basically. You had a right to eat flesh. It's what made you noble. Remember how you became noble if you captured more than 4 people? When you captured more than 4 people, you were allowed in the catering tent, the big tent. And that's where they had that meat. That's where that meat was, right? So this has a more practical purpose, but because we're ashamed of our history, we don't like to to talk about this. Anytime you read a codex, I want you to change the word slavery to sausage, because really that's what was happening. When Montezuma was lowered, they were slain for 2 years, and many nobles sold their young sons and maidens. Why were they selling them? Oh, well, we're doing so bad that we can sell them into slavery. Excuse me, do you see how naive that is? Do you know how expensive it is to keep a slave? Well, have you ever tried to keep a horse? Horses are expensive, right? They want internet. There's a lot of shampoo. Holy shit, those guys go through some serious shampoo. But, right, horses are expensive. So think about how expensive it would be to keep a human. So when times are down, when you're selling your child into slavery, who is going to buy another mouth to feed? No one. Who's going to buy sausage? Everyone. You sell your child into slavery because slavery makes you feel so much better than sausage, right? My daughter was sold into slavery. That's horrible. I know. If only you knew it was actually sausage. Oh, wow. You did that. Yes, I did. But it was for religious reasons only, and only because the Jews made me do it, James. They made me do it. They made me do it, right? Things like that. Aztecs didn't disappear. We are still here. Right on, Coyote. Not trying to take that away. Not at all. But there is definitely a lot of people saying that, well, why did they disappear? Why did they disappear? And it's because they were raising the consciousness of America. The same American seed that's running right now, right? Hey, guys, you wanna tell me about your problems, huh? Put you a little hot here. Yeah, come on. Come on, who's next? Who's next? We got a long line here. I hit the wrong button. So yeah, sausage. Upward cannibalism, literally. Becoming a white-collar worker was becoming a cannibal. You eat my back, I eat yours. Well, I'm sorry I didn't lay this out better, but I wrote that because a lot of villages, I should not find myself this funny. I'd probably be funnier if I didn't find myself this funny. But you eat my back, I eat yours is the idea that, believe it or not, two villages had like an agreement. They seriously had an agreement. They're like, yeah, house, village, hut number 17, bungalow 17. Yeah, there's a guy in there. His name's Carl. He's a total dick. You guys can come in tonight, raid the village, just take hut 17. There's your gold. And you realize that a lot of ships did the same thing, right? That two captains, not necessarily pirates, I mean, they could be, but two different captains, merchant, ships would like meet in parlay. And the captains would say, I fucking hate this guy. And they're like, oh yeah, I hate this guy. It's like, I hate this guy worse. And then they would literally trade their guys for each other. Knowing what would happen. Like knowing. I'm not saying they were turning them into sausage on a ship, although it would not surprise me at all. I definitely don't think it's because they're above it. You have to have a certain consciousness to even agree. I'll get on that ship. That sounds fun. What are we going to do? We're going to butt fuck the shit out of you until we get our money back. It was there's some serious abandonment going on. And all that vitriol and all that pain is what makes the consciousness grow. Why do you think there's 72 needles inside our kids right now? Because it takes 72 needles to make that soul say enough. Enough. Resistance is not futile. Resistance is growth. Resistance is proof of consciousness, right? That's really what it is. Proof of consciousness. I'm growing consciousness. I grow consciousness one heart at a time. Who's next? Come on. Again, I hit the wrong button there. But yeah, you eat my back, I eat yours. Does this sound familiar? It was in the interest of the ruling class and the state to prohibit the eating of human flesh by the commoners, precisely because they were the group most in need of it. Think about it. By doing so, you also provide a path through war service of obtaining meat. So the entire purpose of restricting the clouds is to insist that more people will come and worship the rain god, Thalok, right? So when you understand Thalok as the god of rain, really means god of the limiting of rain. Do you understand? Thalok only gets fed when there's no rain. So is Thalok a rain god? Or is Thalok a drought god? Same thing for war, right? Hutzlepolston, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, forgive me. The god of war, the red, right? Blue tent, red tent. Is he really a god of war? Or is he just a god of putting your kids into a meat grinder, right? Same thing for America, right? Exact thing, right? Still happens in North Africa. Yeah, probably. Probably. I think it still happens here. I think probably the reason why the lion was considered a noble symbol is because the ones that were in charge were the first ones that are like, I'll eat you. And you were like, I don't want to eat you. That's gross. It's like, okay, then who's in charge? I guess you are. Yeah. Right? Isn't that kissing the starfish? Isn't embracing cannibalism? Excuse me, but fuck, man, think about it. Isn't the casting couch the exact same thing? So the Jaguar King, Kanye, is a victim this whole time. Why? Because he slaughtered 6 people and dragged their bodies home and literally ripped them apart and ate them as his family that then found him and said, I want you, let's have children together. Thank you for raising me on this cannibal meat, for him to tell you what a fucking victim he was the whole time. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And I wish I wasn't so butthurt about it, but God, man. Do you realize that during the trucker protest, the same people that are praising Kanye right now for being a hero were calling all the trucker protest fools? That this is a foolish, stupid endeavor, but Kanye's a fucking hero? I'm probably alone in feeling this kind of burn about it, but it's exactly what happened when I started telling people who QAnon was. You start to realize, fuck, we're not here to figure this out. We're here to find the next scapegoat. We're here to seriously double, triple, quadruple down on who are we going to blame next, and it was Hillary Clinton. And I tried as hard as I could to believe Hillary Clinton. And I do think she participates in witchcraft. And I wrote a story about her literally having to snap the necks of like 20 roosters in her kitchen because she wanted Bill to be elected. And I followed that train through. And you know who's to blame? Voters. It's not Hillary Clinton. That if we burn and abdicate and hit her with a hammer, if we Pelosi, right? We're going to start calling it that. If we Pelosi'd Hillary, why do you think that would stop? Why do you think no one else? Why do you think there wouldn't be another Kanye saying, I want on top now? Because I can show you a million of them and they're all on our side, quote, quote. They're literally on our side right now. Telling you every fucking lie it takes. As long as they get to go higher on the pyramid. And the higher on the pyramid they go, they want more until they get to the top. It's only at the top when they're starting to go, hey, I've been a victim this whole time. Truckers are foolish. I'm the hero here. I'm the one who's actually doing something to change things because I'm exposing them. Do you realize who Kanye is not exposing when he's exposing them? Himself. He will never expose himself because we will never grow because we have this fetish for scapegoat. And that's Christian's fault. I'm looking at you. It's your fault. If you keep calling me evil all you want, how come the evil guy, James, is always the dude who's having to show you your own fucking shit? Why? Does that really make me evil? Or does it make me accurate as fuck? And I'm not even trying to say I've got it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. But I know how energy works because I watch it every fucking day and I read a lot. And you look at what happens and you watch an entire culture saying, oh, it's about the eagle. It's about the jaguar. It's like, no, it's about the fucking chicken fingers. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are going to survive or you are going to die. You get to choose which. And only after you can afford that Maslow's survival pyramid do you even start to look at things. Luxuries as an ego or morality. Those are luxuries. It takes a lot of budget. If you want to keep a slave, it's the same as keeping an ego. You're going to have to feed it. You're going to have to take care of it. It's going to get out of line. You're going to have to keep it in shape. You're going to have to educate it. You're going to have to teach it wisdom. It can be helpful to you, but it's your apprentice. And it's going to try and blame you for everything. And it's doing that to save energy. It's being creative. And it needs you to make that expensive for it so it learns correctly. Hey, crow. There's a crow right there. Sorry, you can't see it, but hey, buddy, he's like, wanted to pop in on the show. Cool. Anyway, got dojo in 11 minutes, so I'm going to go. We're going to put this... He's agreeing. I'm telling you that dude's agreeing. But we got dojo coming up soon, so I'm gonna break to do that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this show. I just want you to know, it doesn't matter. But I hope you like the puppet guy. Yeah, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to bring your hearts next week. We're gonna have a hot potluck. We're going to have a potluck of hearts. So be sure and come back next week, all right? We'll see you guys later. Yeah, you guys, sorry, I can't reach the mic and this at the same time. You guys, have a great day. Buy James's book, or there's going to be more hearts. We need you to buy his book so he won't have to cannibalize his neighbors. You don't want him to cannibalize his neighbors, so go on. Come on. Put your heart in there. Go buy a book. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. I don't hear sound again.